At the Edge of Tomorrow program has been prepared with contributions and research from Yasar Atolye. Hello again, you are at the Edge of Tomorrow. As you know, during this program, we look together at the exciting intersection points of technology and economics and the great transformations.
Today, once again, we are here with artificial intelligence on a topic right in the middle of the agenda. It has officially started to infiltrate every corner of our lives. Our ways of working, our careers, even our expectations from leaders. Let's talk about how everything is changing.
Yes, we also have solid sources. World Economic Forum, Workday, BCG, Fortune, Harvard Business Review. It has been quite comprehensive and compiled.
Exactly. Based on these sources, we will discuss the opportunities and, of course, the challenges brought about by this great transformation.
Even you said there was a nice analogy from a leader at Microsoft that artificial intelligence is experiencing its physical moment.
Yes. I think it's a very appropriate expression. I mean, think about it. Just as physics shook the way we understand and study the world 100 years ago, the potential of artificial intelligence is at that level.
So where do you think this tremor is felt the most right now? Looking at the sources, it seemed to me like the software world is leading the way.
Absolutely. We can say that the first wave hit there, especially on the cost side. There is a crazy situation. We have data from Ark Invest and BCG Ventures.
What do the data say?
Let me put it this way. Coding costs have decreased by 98.7% in just a short period of 6 months.
Is it 98.7%? That's an incredible figure. It almost means zero cost.
Exactly. Developing technology is becoming more accessible than ever before.
So is this only related to cost? I mean, it's cheaper now, but are what artificial intelligence can do also improving? They're talking about OpenAI's new models. I even heard of something called wipe coding. What exactly does that mean?
Very good point. It's not just about the cost. Skills are also developing rapidly. New generation models like GPT-5 no longer just write when you tell them to.
What do you mean?
So, it can understand complex problems and make plans to solve them. What we call vibe coding is actually a bit like that. It means that it can sense what the developer wants, pick up on the general vibe, and produce more intuitive code accordingly.
I understand. So is the programmer now more like a kind of thinking partner rather than a tool waiting for commands?
Yes. The fact that development environments entirely focused on artificial intelligence like Cursor and Replit are becoming so popular is no coincidence. This reflects this change.
Is this effect limited to software? How does it reflect on other sectors?
No, definitely not limited. The scope is expanding a lot. For example, finance. Fortune says that CFOs are now actively using artificial intelligence quite a bit in scenario planning and risk analysis.
Anything else, law and such?
It's the same in law. There are platforms like Workday and Avisort. Contract analyses that used to take hours now take minutes. There is an analysis by Boston Consulting Group. In the consumer goods sector, there is up to an 8% value increase potential with artificial intelligence.
Interesting. What about cybersecurity? What's the situation there?
Cybersecurity is a very interesting field. It was mentioned at Boston Consulting Group that artificial intelligence is a tool that can also generate new threats.
Oh no.
But at the same time, it is also becoming one of the strongest defensive weapons against these threats. In other words, like a double-edged sword.
I understand. In this case, of course, the leaders also need to update their strategies accordingly. I read in Fortune that Accenture CEO Julie Sweet.
Yes, for example, he foresaw these trends long before and positioned the company accordingly, a visionary approach.
So, what do we really need to focus on to create tangible value with artificial intelligence? I think there were those 5 components mentioned by Fortune.
Yes, the Fortune process essentially boils down to 5 basic steps. The first is choosing the right LLM, that is the core artificial intelligence engine. Then providing the correct context, writing effective commands. You know, what we call prompting. Integrating this into existing workflows and, of course, continuously measuring and evaluating the results.
It means that just adopting the technology is not enough. It needs to be properly structured.
Absolutely. Spencer Stuart also emphasizes this point. In such a rapidly changing environment, creative and adaptable leadership is essential.
The strategy for technology is complete, but what about the people involved in this? Some important thought leaders are quite pessimistic, saying our jobs will be lost. But on the other hand, we always say that artificial intelligence will enhance human abilities. What do the sources say about this? Seems like there's a dilemma.
Yes, perhaps this is the most critical question of all. Now, if we look at the research from Workday and MIT, the fundamental goal of artificial intelligence is not actually to eliminate humans from the equation. It's more about enhancing our abilities and assisting us.
Is it like a kind of super assistant? I think David Sachs said so.
Exactly. David Sachs's approach is in that direction. So it's not a divine power that knows everything, but rather a helper specialized in certain areas. But of course, the concern about job loss is not unfounded. That's also a reality.
What kind of solutions could there be then?
Here's an example from the World Economic Forum about Japan, for instance. You know, there was a generation that couldn't find jobs during an economic downturn. They call it the employment ice age. They have implemented skills transformation programs for them. So the solution might be to equip people with new skills and invest in transformation.
Hatta Sam Altman even went further, saying that thanks to artificial intelligence, new professions we haven't even thought of today will emerge, like space exploration or something.
Yes, there are such visionary predictions as well. I mean, on one hand there's concern, and on the other hand, entirely different horizons may be opening up.
So, how will the relationship between humans and artificial intelligence be in this new order? What is the state of trust? Do we trust this technology?
Trust is a bit complicated. The Workday research says something interesting. As people interact with artificial intelligence and use it, their trust increases, but they also want clear boundaries, meaning they care about having control themselves.
Do they want to see me as a partner rather than a boss?
Exactly. They are more inclined to accept artificial intelligence as a business partner, but they don't really want to see it as a boss figure. Of course, there's another risk. It was mentioned in Incore magazine, terms like slopper or second-hand thinking.
What does it mean?
It is used for people who accept the output of artificial intelligence as it is without questioning or thinking about it. This can harm the person's own reputation, and a study from the University of Arizona has shown that it can create serious mistrust among colleagues, whether they did the work themselves or had artificial intelligence do it.
I understand. So, the call from Boston Consulting Group for that radical employee-centric approach makes even more sense. I mean, people first, employees' concerns first, their participation in the process, technology comes later.
Exactly this. If you want a successful artificial intelligence transformation, it is essential to focus on employees, says Boston Consulting Group. The leadership approach is also evolving accordingly.
What kind of change are we talking about in leadership?
Articles in Harvard Business Review also point to this. No longer is it just expected from leaders to give directives and solve problems. It's more about coaching, empowering their team, opening up opportunities for them, what they call empower your team. Also, in communication, the power and intention to send the right signals become very important. The article, Signal Power Through Language, explains this.
In other words, no matter how smart technology becomes, the work ultimately revolves around humans, communication, and trust.
Absolutely. Technology is an amazing tool, but what makes it meaningful is the human who uses it correctly.
Then, we can summarize it as follows. Artificial intelligence is fundamentally changing our lives and how we work. This is certain. It reduces costs, increases efficiency, offers new opportunities, but at the same time, it also raises very serious questions such as trust, ethics, and adaptation.
Yes, we are right in the heart of this technological revolution, and perhaps those unique abilities that make us human, creativity, empathy, critical thinking, strategic perspective, are more valuable than ever before.
A very good point. Then let's bid farewell to our viewers today with this question. In this rapidly changing new era, how will you protect and further enhance your most valuable talents that make you unique and different?
See you next week in the new episode of At the Edge of Tomorrow.